Congratulations! I'm Amina Lutfi. I'm a professional organizer and I am passionate about wedding planning. Would you believe, you won't believe, all 3 of my children were married the same year. Not only that, I helped to organize all of those weddings, one of which was a destination wedding in Costa Rica. As a professional organizer, I learned a great deal about wedding planning. I'm going to share all of the details with you, the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the goods and the bads. I'm going to share every morsel with you. Stay tuned to the end because you could win a beautiful wedding journal that I personally designed. I want to just talk about some of the biggest areas or the largest areas that you should really be concerned about in planning your destination wedding. This goes for any wedding, but especially a destination wedding. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that is because you won't be in the States. You'll be outside of the United States. And if you're in the States, you can, have someone ship something to you or whatever very easily. Or if you're in the area, or you're getting married in the area where you live, you can actually, have somebody go and pick it up, a friend or family at the last minute. Doing a destination wedding, you have to have everything already planned. Be very, 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 very organized because you won't have that option of being able to, if you forget something, to just make it happen because you're in the same locale. Okay? All right. So communication, I want to say, is very, very important. Communication with the facility manager wherever you decide to have your destination wedding. Also, your fiance. Maintain that communication. You're excited, yes. You got the ring, yes. You said I do, yes. But continue to maintain communication with your fiance. Talk about your budget. Talk about whether or not this particular destination is a destination that's agreeable with your fiance. So you're both on the same page. Also, huge, passport. Can't leave the country unless you have a passport. So you want to have your passport and apply for your passport way in advance. Also, your fiance, any of your wedding guests, stay on them because this is what my youngest daughter actually had her wedding in Oronal, Costa Rica, as I mentioned. Well, one of the headaches that she found was some of the guests who had RSVP'd for her wedding. She sent out information to them on what they needed to have in order to travel abroad. Well, one of the things that they needed was a passport. So she determined that a number of the guests who were actually had RSVP'd for her wedding didn't have a passport. They hadn't done their homework. They hadn't applied. And you need to apply for a passport typically about 6 months in advance, unless you're going to put a rush on it, last minute rush, and then you're going to be spending a lot more money than you actually have to. So make sure not only you get your passport in advance, your wedding party, all of your guests, passports in advance. That's critical. So that way it's done, taken care of. And don't forget to take the passports with you when you go. Okay? All right. So you're going to decide on type of wedding you want to have. Is it going to be a formal wedding? Is it going to be a casual wedding? What size? How many people do you want to invite coming to this destination wedding? My daughter had about 75 family and friends, and that's a nice size destination wedding. So the next point I want to make too is what time of year. I want to bring that to your attention. In some areas, in different areas of the world, we know there's a rainy season, there's a hurricane season. So you may get excited about having your wedding in a particular area, only to find out it's rainy season, only to find out that it's hurricane season. No, you don't want that. So do your homework. The next thing, develop a budget. How much money are you willing to spend? Talk to your fiance. How much money are you willing to spend on this wedding? Are others going to contribute to, this is a question you want to ask, are others, parents, family, friends, I don't know, are they going to contribute to your wedding, to the budget? So that's a realistic, something you have to come to grips with. They've done research, or surveys, I should say. 2017, 2018, the average good-sized wedding is going to run you about $34,000. That's a lot of money. So you don't want to go outside of your budget. You want to make sure you are in agreement with your fiance, so you stay within your budget. Okay? All right. Then you want to visit the destination prior to, if this is ideal, prior to actually signing the contract. My daughter and I, my youngest daughter, who had her destination wedding in Costa Rica, we went 6 to 8 months in advance. Now that's ideal, but I wouldn't do it any other way, because we were able to actually see the facility. We were actually meet the owner. We did taste testing of cakes. She let them know. She talked to the owner, the facility owner, about what it is that she wanted in terms of the particular ambiance, the type of music, the type of cake that she wanted. Just gave the owner a really good idea of the type of wedding she wanted to have. So the communication, back to communication was really clear and really effective. And in the end, it made for a really beautiful experience. All right. So, but before you sign the contract, you want to ask a few questions. You want to make sure that the wedding date that you have in mind is available. So you want to organize, too, a to-do list. You want to organize a to-do list. You may even put together an Excel spreadsheet or whatever helps you to be organized. That's going to save you a lot in the end. You want to have timelines on there. You want to have particular dates. You want to have contact names, all of the above. The next thing that you want to look at is now you begin to develop your guest list. Who are you going to invite? Who's going to come to the wedding? Some individuals may say, you know what, I'll send you a gift, I'm not coming. Then you can send them a notice, but you know they're definitely not coming. But there are some individuals that when you think about it and you start developing your guest list, you'll know for sure when you have a conversation that they expect to be invited and that they're coming to, and that they definitely will be coming to the wedding. All right, then you're going to select your wedding party. Who's going to be in your wedding? Talk to your fiance. Who are they? How many groomsmen? How many bridesmaids? Have an agreement on that. Again, we're back to having effective communication. Now, this is all 9 to 12 months before you actually have your wedding. So start shopping for your wedding gown. You may have your bride, your matron of honor, go with you to actually look at various wedding gowns and determine what kind of wedding gown do you want. Do you want a big, what type of wedding gown? I mean, there's so many different types of wedding gowns out there, but you will have an idea. Once you start going into the various bridal salons, you'll see what type of wedding gowns are actually available for you, and you may already have something in mind. So start shopping 6 to 9 months for your wedding gown. All right, then you want to select a wedding planner. Who's going to help you with your wedding? And then you may have an individual who you're going to have to officiate the wedding. Also, while I'm talking about this, when you have a destination wedding, what are the rules? What are the laws around being married, having a wedding, and well, I should say being married, having a ceremony in a country outside of the United States? Now, for my daughter, her and her husband actually got their license. They were living in New York at the time, and they got their marriage license. So they were really already technically married prior to going to Costa Rica. But they had their beautiful ceremony in Costa Rica. Okay, so there's licensing and all of that you should check into when you're deciding on a particular destination. Also, you may want to think about creating a website. A wedding website with all the information on your wedding website for your guests to actually view. That'll help your guests to get excited about, some of them who are kind of on the fence about whether or not they want to come to the wedding. That's going to help them to get excited. You can even post some pictures on there of the actual resort or where you're planning to have your destination wedding. That'll get them pretty excited about it. Okay, then you want to save the dates. Save your wedding date mailers. Now we're talking about 6 to 9 months prior to your wedding. Save the dates is essentially telling your prospective guests, hey, my wedding's coming up, so please, put it on your calendar, and I will be sending out formal invitations in a bit. All right. Then you want to buy your bridal accessories. Start looking around. You may not buy them, but you want to look around and determine what bridal accessories you want to have for your wedding. And that way you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to wear and what your attire is going to be like, your jewelry, any wedding, any veils or whatever else. You can start looking around for all of that 6 to 9 months ahead of time. All right. Make sure you got your passport. We already talked about that. That's 4 to 6 months in advance. I would say at least 6 months in advance. Don't drag your feet on that one. That could be a no-no. Also, you want to check in with your bridesmaids. You got your bridesmaids all lined up now? It's time to start shopping for dresses. You want to look at styles. Now, you may have some bridesmaids who are tall and thin. You may have some who, have different, everyone has a different type in terms of figures and also what colors look well on them. So you want to get together with your bridesmaids and have some conversations about the type of dresses that would work for all of them. You want to create your gift registry. So your gift registry, as we all know, is telling your guests, this is what I've selected. This is what I'd like for, if you're going to purchase a gift for me, then this is where you can go to purchase the gift that I've selected. All right, we're talking about invitations now. So 4 to 6 months, you want to get your invitations, start preparing your invitations so you can send them out. Not quite yet, but you want to start preparing them. Also, if you haven't already, you want to start looking at wedding rings. I know you get pretty excited when you think about wedding rings, but start shopping around for wedding rings because you may want to have the wedding ring engraved. You may have something really unique. You may want to have one handmade. I don't know, but just start looking around 4 to 6 months ahead of time so you can have that perfect wedding ring for both you and your groom. Okay? All right. Booking travel arrangements. Travel arrangements, you want to start getting those travel arrangements together. You want to share those travel arrangements with your guests, the individuals who've RSVP'd and said, yes, I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So you want to make sure that you have all that information available for them, hotel arrangements, airlines, the fares, all of that. You want to make sure you have all of that available for them so no one can say, well, what do I do? How do I get there? You're going to be responsible for taking care of all of that. Now, if you have a wedding planner, your wedding planner could help you with that. And even your bridesmaids can help you out with that if necessary to kind of take a little bit of the weight from you, and your responsibilities and what you need to do. All right. So the groomsmen want to start shopping for the groom. The groom want to start shopping for his, whether it's going to be a suit, whether it's going to be a tuxedo. That's where communication again comes in, because you may want to have you want to have a conversation. Honey, are you going to wear a suit? Or are you going to wear a tuxedo? What do you have in mind? What do you want your groomsmen to wear? So definitely want to have that conversation. All right. We want to talk about confirming everything 2 to 3 months before the wedding actually is to take place. 2 to 3 months. Make sure you're in contact with the individual at the venue where you're going to have your destination wedding so that you're in agreement, the dates, all of everything that you've agreed on, the cake, all of everything, the food, everything. So you're going to be probably sending a lot of emails back and forth to make sure that the communication is effective and there are no disappointments, in which we don't want any disappointments on your special day. All right. You're going to mail out your invitations maybe 2 or 3 months prior to your actual wedding. And then you're going to have your fitting. You've already selected your dress. You're going to have your very last fitting. Maybe you've lost a little bit of weight. Maybe you've gained a little bit of weight, whatever. You're going to have your last fitting for that dress, your beautiful wedding gown. So now you're going to be making sure that wedding gown is fitting exactly the way it's supposed to fit on that very special day that I know you're really looking forward to. Writing wedding vows. Whoa, that's a big one. So I have to share this with you. I remember when my youngest daughter was getting married. She started telling me, she says, Mom, I don't think, she was referring to her fiance. She said, we've been talking about wedding vows, but I don't know if he's writing wedding vows. I don't know if he knows how important that is because we decided we're going to write our own wedding vows. And I don't know if he's even putting any time into it, any effort. So she was really concerned about that up until the day of their wedding. Well, guess what? When their ceremony started and it was time to exchange vows, he pulled out his cell phone. He had written his cell phone. He had the wedding vows in his cell phone. They were the most thoughtful, most inspiring, most reflective of their relationship and their love for one another. The vows were, all the guests, including myself, were in tears because it was so very touching. These are vows that they agreed to write versus, just having someone else read vows for them, maybe the person who's officiating. So they did their own vows. So if you're going to write your own vows, start working on your vows and let your fiance know, we'd like to work on vows, and if there's any comments or anything that you'd like for him to add or not add or whatever, so you can be in agreement with that. Okay? All right, 2 weeks prior, confirm your flight and hotel bookings. Don't want to get to the destination and find out there's a misunderstanding. Somebody's last name, they didn't get the person's last name or the exact dates. So make sure you start really tightening that up and confirming all of that. Confirm all the details with all the vendors. Now, the individual who you're utilizing for the destination wedding, the facility manager, or the owner, whoever you're working with, make sure you've confirmed all of the details and leave no stone left unturned. Again, you don't want to get there and there's a misunderstanding about the cake or the type of food that's supposed to be served or whatever else. So make sure you've covered all of that with the facility manager. All right, confirm your guests RSVP. So make sure you know who's supposed to come, who's coming, got a head count so you can pass that on to the caterers and you can pass that on to the facility manager. So 1 week prior, if not before, prepare your suitcase, anything that you're needing to take, your wedding gown, all of that, start getting all of that together so that way you make sure you're not leaving anything. Before you get on that flight, triple check you got everything. Now, one thing, this is something I want to kind of share with you. My youngest daughter and son-in-law were engaged in Peru. And my son-in-law called me and he said, Mom, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be proposing to my daughter. And I'm going to do that when we go to Peru. And I said, oh, fantastic. I said to him, though, one word of caution, because she didn't know it. It was going to be a surprise. Don't pack the ring in the suitcase. I said, I know you want it to be a surprise, and I know you don't want her to find the ring, but do not pack the ring in the suitcase. So he said, oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I was thinking about kind of hiding it away in my suitcase. Of course, we know where I'm going with this. If you take the suitcases to the airport and they put them in, luggage, put them with the rest of the luggage, well, he wanted to see the ring again. Not saying something could happen, but luggage could get lost. Who knows? So anyway, that was a reminder for him to actually keep the ring on him throughout the trip until he actually did the wonderful proposal, which was really quite nice. All right, now you're at the destination. Set the time for the wedding rehearsal. Make sure all of your wedding party knows exactly when the rehearsal is supposed to take place, so everybody's there when they're supposed to be there. Confirm all the details again with your destination host. And then you can prepare, if you choose to, little gift baggies for your guests as they're arriving. These are just a little welcome packet for your guests. What you can do is you can actually give it to them or have someone give it to them as they arrive. Or if they're going to stay at the resort, you can actually put the the welcome bags in their room on their bed when they come into the room, which should be a nice touch. All right. So when you get to your destination, make sure you hang your dress. So your wedding dress, your wedding gown, your fiance wants to hang his suit, and all of your wedding party wants to hang their wedding attire as well. Get it hung up so it can, the wrinkles or whatever from the travel could fall out, and your wedding attire will be absolutely beautiful on that day. And lastly, make an appointment for your pedicure and your manicure at the destination site. So last thing I said it was lastly, but this is the very, very, very last thing I want to share with you. Don't forget the wedding rings. Don't forget your vows. And remember, I'm wishing you endless love. I'm hoping this video was helpful. If so, like and subscribe. Check out the elegant jewelry and accessories for your wedding at my website, bridesjewelryshop.com. If you have any questions or any suggestions or any comments, I'd love to hear from you. For your chance to win one of my beautifully and personally designed wedding journals, simply comment below with your wedding date. I'm wishing you endless love. Bye-bye for now.